Hi, welcome to the second lesson on letters and speeches, during which you will hopefully actually write a letter or a speech. This is today's starter activity. Due to some of the grammatical errors in the recent writing mock, I wanted you to think about what actually comprises a sentence. I have some sentences here and I'd like you to copy them down in two columns for correct sentences and incorrect sentences. The sentences are: I think about my life, walking along the beach, I walk along the beach, thinking about my life, I am walking along the beach, I am thinking about my life. So please arrange those in two columns, good sentences and those which are not grammatical sentences. Here are the answers. The correct sentences which stand alone are: I think about my life, I'm thinking about my life, I walk along the beach, I am walking along the beach. These are not sentences. Walking along the beach, thinking about my life. Why are they not sentences? Well, there's no noun doing the action. These are dependent clauses. Change them to add a noun or add an independent clause that makes sense alone and separate it with a comma. Here's a further explanation. With the dependent, that means they don't stand alone or count as extra information, and independent clauses, which stand alone, labelled. Persuasive letters. Remember the formal letter layout from the last lesson. We have the address and your address and today's date in the top right hand corner. On the left hand side we have the full title and name of the person you're writing to, their company address, dear sir or madam, the introductory paragraph explaining why you're writing, 3 topic paragraphs on different aspects of your topic, and the closing paragraph saying what you want done. You finish with yours sincerely or faithfully, a signature underneath, and then your printed full title and name. Remember, you use sincerely if you know their name and faithfully if you don't. Remember these useful phrases for writing a letter. You can stop the video and look at these in more detail. Dear Mr. Afrier, I'm writing to you today to talk about plant-based diets compared to an omnivore diet. I have concerns regarding animal welfare and the environmental impact mass farming is having. Firstly, I would like you to consider how an animal bred for purpose may feel. Did you know pigs are actually the 4th most intelligent animal? Smarter than a dog. They have feelings. Could you imagine being forced into having babies only to have them taken away? They would then be killed for human consumption. How does that bacon sandwich taste? I can only imagine the heartache all the farmed animals go through: pigs, cows, sheep and chickens. Do we draw the line at rabbits? Secondly, the global impact that mass-produced cows are having. If the production of cows was slowed, their carbon dioxide emissions would be lessened. Equally, they would eat less grains, meaning more for humans. It's thought that cows are responsible for up to 14% of the world's carbon dioxide emissions. Less cow stock is less emissions, which makes for a healthier planet. Lastly, I can understand you may have concerns with animal stock being the farmer's majority income. However, with more fields freed up for less animals, they could start to produce fruit and vegetables instead. This can still bring them a fair income. I would like to see you have acknowledged my points and consider having meat prices taxed or the higher rate for luxury items, and have grains and whole foods priced down. Thank you for taking your valuable time to read this. Yours sincerely. Dear Mr. Sunderland, I'm writing to you about the issue of widespread light pollution that has now become completely unchecked, undesirable and unaccountable. As you may already be aware, light pollution is starting to have serious consequences on human health, and in addition to this, wildlife species are also starting to suffer. Many respected authorities are now able to provide damning evidence of people suffering from increased depression, obesity and sleep disorders, as individual biological clocks and circadian rhythms are disrupted and disturbed. For instance, local authorities have seen a huge increase in the number of complaints regarding indiscreet and careless lighting from neighbours and businesses alike, as revealed by a recent report published by the local council. Apart from street lighting, where we have seen some improvements on the design of lamps facing down, it appears there are no controls in place to stop the public at large lighting up their properties like Christmas trees. Consequently, the impact on wildlife has been equally damaging, especially for bat populations, which have literally crashed and burned under the impact of indiscreet and indiscriminate lighting, of which there is no legislative control. Notably, barn owl populations have been decimated and destroyed in the areas of woodland adjacent to recent developments. It does not take much to see this phenomenon in action, even from the leafy lanes of your Oxfordshire home. Look up any night when this cloud is a thick pea soup and you will observe the electric orange glow. For us amateur astronomers, we have found our hobby becoming more difficult year on year as the situation gets worse. Human beings and wildlife depend on a daily cycle of light and dark, and the splendours of the night sky are now practically impossible for our children to see and animals to live by. Therefore, I would request that you now raise this question in Parliament and inform me of what measures you are going to take to decrease this problem. I would like to see some proper, enforced legislative controls on business, on housing, and sensible reasoned measures to control this. I would also add here that any controls would be a huge boost for green status, as the energy saved would be immense. I do look forward to your response. Yours sincerely. Speeches. When writing a speech, here are some tips. Remember them from the last lesson. Keep it short and simple, meaning your sentences don't ramble. Use the rule of 3, great psychological trick. Don't forget your metaphors, similes and description with lots of adjectives if you need them. Use pronouns to create a sense of unity or make a common enemy. Really important in a speech to have the repetition of a key phrase, and you can use rhyme and alliteration. And if you can, use humour, as you will keep your reader's attention and make it a lot more memorable. Your listener's attention. Don't forget your grammar. I don't want to see any more sentences where you have a dependent clause and nothing else. These were some of the topics we considered, but you may have chosen your own topic. Here's a reminder of the different connectives that you can use, signpost words or discourse markers, it's all the same thing. And don't forget you're using the peel paragraph, point, evidence, that's examples, explain, and link or summarise at the end of each paragraph. You must use paragraphs, and each paragraph needs to be on a different topic. So the next task is to plan and write a full letter or speech on your topic. Use the different styles, don't forget to plan. Here's a bit of homework, it's a thinking task. This is a quotation from the US inaugural speech by Amanda Gorman, who is the USA Youth Laureate. The speech was in January 2021, and one of the quotations from the speech is, "What just is isn't always justice." Please think about this statement and what it means to you before next lesson. There are many issues to which this could apply. So hopefully by the end of the lesson, we will have eliminated incorrect grammar using ing verbs and no noun, and writing in dependent clauses. We'll have planned a letter or speech, written a letter or speech using suitable phrases and techniques, and hopefully shared said letter or speech.